Good afternoon, everybody. It's your boy D Mac, and I'm back for a little talk. So, actor Michael K. Williams, better known as Omar in The Wire, and comedian Fuquonjohnson. I didn't really know much about him, but apparently he was a known comedian and he was a rising comedian. And they both have one thing in common. They recently overdosed from fentanyl. Michael K. Williams was found in a hotel, I believe, or I think it was one or two. I don't want to mix up the story, so I'll just say that they were both had a fentanyl overdose. Now I can recall whenever Demi Lovato had her overdose. I don't know what she was on, but they sought out the dealer who gave her the drugs and they held him accountable. So I'm asking the question, with fentanyl being as deadly as it is, are the drug dealers found with fentanyl being charged with manslaughter? Because this is exactly what's happening. These guys are getting these drugs and they're laced with fentanyl and people don't know it, and they are dying because of this fentanyl overdose. So who's going to be held accountable for it? I understand that these are grown people and they make their own decisions to take drugs. But if you're taking a drug and it has something in it that will possibly kill you on contact, I think you should know about that. And so I also put a warning out to people out here that are using these street pharmaceuticals, because you do not know what is in these things. They're putting stuff in there to bolster it up, or to what they call step on it, which is mixing in something to stretch it out and make more money off of it. So there's a lot of things that are being diced up and sliced up and thrown into street pharmaceuticals that are killing people on contact, like fentanyl. It's one of the highlighted things that's going on right now. So who's going to be held accountable for this? And another thing that I want to say is that there's a lot of black actors, a lot of black entertainers, period, whether it's music, whether it's acting, whether it's sports. They are dying from drug overdoses, and drugs are made so easily accessible to these people that there should be some accountability held on that end too. We know very well that there are record labels out there who finds out that their artist is on a certain drug, and they will supply that artist with that drug in order to get what they want out of that artist, especially if that artist is a highly influencing artist. So you take someone like a DMX, and how many times did DMX tell stories about him giving up verses for dope, or about him just doing things out in public that normally he would charge multiple thousands of dollars for, and he did it for drugs. This is something that's a common theme among a lot of these entertainers. They are being drugged out and they're being given all of this stuff to keep them appeased, so that they can give these companies what they want. And that's their influence, using their likeness to push a certain agenda and to influence a certain people. And so when we find out that this is being done, these people are basically slaves, because you become a slave to whatever drug of choice you use. And at that moment, they become mental and physical slaves. So is anyone going to be held accountable for making a mental slave of someone of influence in order to control them, to push a narrative or whatever agenda they want pushed? Who do we hold accountable for that? Who do we bring to the courts and say, this is the person who knowingly gave this person a mind-altering substance in order to get them to do something for them? What is that called? I don't know what it's called, but I know it's not morally right, and it shouldn't be legally right to hold somebody under slavery with a drug. And this is what a lot of these people are going through. You look at the Juice WRLDs, you look at Lil Wayne looks really, really bad physically, and nobody's going to say anything to Wayne or do anything for Wayne because their money is tied to Wayne and the things that Wayne does. So a lot of these people, if Wayne stops doing drugs, then a whole lot of people will lose out on a large amount of money that they've been living off of for a few years now. Well, ever since Wayne's really been deeply delved into his drug addiction. You look at guys like Soldier Boy, he gets on screen and sometimes he looks like a straight skeleton. And we know that he's doing major drugs. And I'm not talking about marijuana. He's always smoking a blunt and he'll pass it off as, yeah, I'm getting high on it. But no, he has other things that he's getting high on. And you can tell by his appearance. There are so many artists who have battled drug addiction, and most of those drugs were supplied by the company that they work for. And this is a pandemic within itself. Not only do we have to worry about coronavirus, but we have another virus to worry about, and that is the elites and how they use people. That in itself is a whole nother virus that needs to be eradicated. And this is something that we as the people are going to have to work towards eradicating, because we can't look to any virologists or anything like that to get rid of this issue. This is a person issue. This is a issue that the people are going to have to confront head on with our government. And as I stated earlier in my last video, whenever the government fears the people, there's liberty. But when the people fear the government, there's tyranny. And so we're going to have to stand up to our government, not only our government, because this is tied into all of these other business models. So we're going to have to face these companies and these corporations and let them know that we will no longer support their business if they continue to do this to other people. It's like being mad at Jordan for not doing anything about the child labor that was used to make Nikes. It's the same exact concept. And so we're looking at people being used for a large benefit, and they're being exploited for commercial gain. That's slavery. You look up the definition of slavery and you will find that there's that parallel with slavery. So as long as these actors and actresses, I'll just say it in a group as entertainers, as long as they are under this slavery of substance abuse and this substance abuse issue is being used to push an agenda and a narrative, man, we have to call these things out, because if we don't, these are the things that are going to mislead our children. They're going to mislead us as well. And it would be so embarrassing to find out that you have been building your truth around something coming from someone who was told to give you that narrative